It's time once again to interview a coach on the Sports Couch Show, brought to you by People's National Bank, serving you with locations throughout Southern Illinois, member FDIC and equal housing lender, and by Mount Vernon Title Company. When you need title work or real estate closings or contract for deed work, Mount Vernon Title Company. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch here on AreaSports.net. We are talking high school football, and the Fairfield Mules will start their season, well, not in week 1, but week 2, and we'll tell you about that in just a moment as we visit with head coach Justin Townsend of the Mules. And, Coach, good to have you on the show. And first of all, before we talk football, let's let you wear that athletic director hat because, first of all, this week is a hot week, and you're having to deal with that all that wet bulb stuff with the IHSA and whether or not you can practice and play games and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I think similar to last year, but not quite as hot, but still hot. And just being extra precautious, and that's fine. We're having to adjust practice times. We're going in the evening. 6 to 8 under the lights, and we've had to unfortunately cancel a few tennis matches. Had to move back some times. I think we're maybe going to try to play a golf match later in the week, but that's just part of it. In this day and age, we have a little bit more education, and we have a little bit more resources and understanding of the weather and the humidity and the effects on the body and things like that, and just trying to keep these kids safe. And we're able to adjust our practice times and hopefully still get the benefit of having our guys practice and get the work in, and but at the same time keep our kids safe. So that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Our cross country team practiced at 5 o'clock in the morning all week. So
wow.
But we have a lot of dedicated athletes, and they're willing to put in the work regardless of the practice time.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Hopefully this is the only week we have to deal with it. Maybe it'll be out of here and we can focus back on our regular times for everything. Well, hey, in your role as athletic director, before we talk about football, let's talk about the improvements in the Mule Barn, the gymnasium there at Fairfield High School. Wow. I know you were actively involved in that, and probably a lot of people were involved in it. But, man, you have done so many wonderful improvements to the gymnasium there that fans and the public, both home and away, are going to love when they come to the Mule Barn.
Yeah, so we replaced our gym floor first off right off the bat. The original floor was in there, 70-year-old gym floor, up until this past May, and we pulled it up and put a brand new gym floor in there. It's now Jed Foster Court, appropriately named after Jed Foster, U of I player and a Fairfield alumni, and then we've also put in new lower bleachers. Desperately needed those. Brand new LED boards on both sides, as well as the scorer's table. Looks spectacular. Brand new sound system. Desperately needed that. We've completely redone our gym lobby, reframed our retired jerseys, renovated our trophy cases, added some new trophy cases, got a digital kiosk that we put out there, renovated our concession stand, enclosed it. Definitely needed to do that because prior to that we just kind of had some rollout stands that we would put up, actually stored a wrestling match in those. I mean, it was just kind of a makeshift concession stand. Painted, obviously, put in, a few years ago we put in air conditioning in our gym, so it's kind of been, it's been the last few years that we've done all this, and it just looks spectacular. Our maintenance job's done a great job. Our administration's been in full support, and our board, and it just looks tremendous. And we're really excited about it. We're still finishing up a few things. We're actually putting new padding on the walls. I think probably as I'm talking to you right now, we're doing that, and we think it is going to be complete and ready to roll. We have a big volleyball tournament this weekend, Lady Mule kickoff tournament, and it just looks spectacular. We're excited about it. We view it as we view our school as a source of pride for our community, and I think everybody takes pride in that, and it just looks really, really, really good.
Yeah, it really does. I was there for Meet the Mules the other night when you introduced all the teams, and I thought it was a nice touch that you did, too, when you introduced all the teams, not just volleyball, but you did cross-country and tennis and swimming teams and all that, and then, of course, you went outside for the football scrimmage, but it was just such a nice touch, and good community support the other night, too, in the Mule Barn.
Yeah, the Mule Barn was packed. Our football outside the train yard is packed. Great turnout. And really, I don't think it was just because of the renovations. I think we have that turnout every year. We have great community support. We love our athletics here in Fairfield. And whether it's a band concert or a play, we always have great support. We always have great crowds. And it wasn't just about athletics. I mentioned the sound system. We redid the lighting as well up on the stage. So, some of the arts and the musicals, we wanted to incorporate them. We got new microphones for them as well. So it wasn't just about athletics. We wanted to improve just the overall experience for our students. And I think we've accomplished that. And, I think the Mule Barn is going to be rocking this fall and this winter. So it's going to be fun.
Well, as a guy who is partial to sound systems and stuff like that anyway, I'll tell you, your sound system now rivals anybody out there. It wasn't just the fact that it's loud now and you can hear it. You can hear it with clarity. That's what I noticed the other night. It's very, very clean. Yeah, the clarity is outstanding.
The clarity is outstanding. And what I like from an athletic director, I don't know much about sound systems, but I like the reliability. And I think any athletic director will tell you your biggest fear is that, obviously, is that the national anthem doesn't play or that the microphone doesn't work. Mm-hmm. When you need it, it doesn't play. That's your biggest fear. Yeah. And I like the fact that I can press a button and it's going to play. And and the LED boards, they're going to be unbelievable. We've just scratched the surface on those.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be able to. We got a lot of sponsors in our community. We're working on graphics and ads for those.
Yeah.
Our score table is going to continue. It's got LED boards. It's going to continue to scroll ads from our local businesses that we're excited. We have the capabilities of stat trackers on our boards. Mm-hmm. And we have the ability to have fan interaction, with our student section.
Right.
So we've just scratched the surface, and I think it'll be, a year or two from now will be when we're really, really utilizing those LED boards. We actually have to do some trainings, honestly, as a staff to fully utilize those.
Yeah.
Just because.
Well, I can give you a tip on a school that uses them very effectively, because the first time that I was ever exposed to them was this past basketball season. Ron Stannard and I went up to Quincy Notre Dame High School for a shootout because Waltonville was playing up there, and we were covering them. And we walked in the gym. And as soon as we walked in the gym, there's this massive, video scoreboard. And oh, my gosh, yeah, it was a multimedia I don't know how to describe it. They were using it for all kinds of things. You mentioned stats, you mentioned videos, highlights, shots of the crowd. They, I don't know how long they've had theirs, but boy, they knew how to use it, and it was unbelievable, and it added so much to the experience there.
So our ultimate goal is to incorporate this into our curriculum here at school. Mm-hmm. That's where we want this to head. Get our kids involved in classes. Because that's the new thing. That's where kids are headed. They're interested in graphic design, computers, things like that. Mm-hmm. So that was another opportunity, another avenue that we saw that we could go down, a route we could go, and that's where this is headed.
Yeah.
And of course, the kids, when we fired these up last week, and the kids are walking, they're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
Normally kids don't get excited about a scoreboard, but mm-hmm. when the kids 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids are getting excited about a scoreboard, you know you got something here. So,
oh yeah,
it's pretty neat. I think it was money well spent.
definitely so. All right, well, let's shift gears. We'll talk a little football now as you are headed into your 24th season, I believe, as head coach of the Fairfield Mules. That's unreal. And you have
Unreal, absolutely.
Yeah, does it seem like 24 years?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why, but I feel like it's maybe hit me a little bit more now when you start adding up the years. And maybe I think Brian Turner was doing our yearly interview, and he talked about when Coach Simon, this is Coach Simon's last year, that I'll be the elder guy in the conference. I mean I don't know it and he kind of realized that maybe I'm on the back third of my career. I hadn't really realized it, I guess, until this year. So yeah, I mean, it's flown by. It's been fun. It's been a great ride, and I'm looking forward to this back portion of it. I think I feel like there's still a lot to accomplish. There's still a lot that I want to achieve. And I got a young guy that I'm still wanting to coach, so I still feel like I have a lot of time and a lot to still offer. So, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun with these kids, and now I'm starting to cycle through. I got a lot of guys on my staff, and I got a good young staff that I've coached, and I got some guys that are playing for me now that their dads played for me. So that's also neat.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. I mentioned that to you the other night when we were there for the scrimmage, that some of your former players are helping you now as an assistant, and that is just so neat to be able to see that come full circle. But you have built an incredible football program there at Fairfield, Coach. I mean, you've made the playoffs 10 years in a row, and arguably it'd be 11 years in a row had it not been for the COVID season when they didn't do playoffs, but you were 6-0 that season during COVID, so you could say 11 years in a row, but not too many high school football programs can say that, and that is remarkable. And as you head into this season, it's a little bit of a hiccup because, well, you don't have a week one opponent, as Vienna's not playing varsity football this year, but it's not like you haven't tried to get an opponent. You've definitely reached out, but just haven't been able to find anybody, right?
No, I mean, we've reached out. I've reached out to schools in St. Louis, Chicago. Thought I had a really solid lead maybe in Indianapolis. There was a prep school in Indianapolis that was open and still open. They just wouldn't commit to playing us. And then I've had other schools reach out to us that they were just not really the right fit, meaning they were probably 3 or 4 times our size, and probably just not a great situation for us, quite honestly. So it's just the way it goes. I'm going to be honest with you. Having the scrimmage game with Richland County, I didn't feel as pressured as much that we had to have a game week one. I knew that having a scrimmage game would allow us to see some things. Honestly, we got a lot of reps against Olney, and that was probably as beneficial for us as playing Vienna week one. I'll just be honest with you. So we got to see a lot of good things on film. I think Olney's going to be a much improved team this year, and so that was really good for us. But yeah, I'd love to be playing week one. I think it's really going to hit us Friday night when we're not playing, and I'm sure a lot of our guys will go watch, El Dorado, who we play next week, or maybe they'll go watch Besser or somebody. I think it's going to really bother us. But at the same time, I think it's going to make us pretty hungry for next week. But we're gonna work hard this week. We're going to improve. We're going to clean some things up, and we're going to be chomping at the bit next week, ready to roll. Yeah,
that was such a nice thing, though, I think, that the IHSA allowed this new situation this year to give teams an opportunity to have a practice scrimmage and run a certain number of offensive plays and defensive plays, because it really gave you a lot to look at, a lot to work on. You can look at the film, learn from that, and you know what you did right, you know what you did wrong, and that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a few coaches, and I haven't seen anything on social media negative from this scrimmage. I mean, I think it was positive all the way around. And I haven't really, I'm sure there maybe was some injuries here or there, but I haven't really seen anything where anybody got dinged up. So I think it was positive. And I know a lot of the states have done these types of things for years. So, I mean, and the great thing about it is you can pretty well schedule whoever you want. And I just think it's extremely beneficial.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought it was great. I thought how we did it. We did Meet the Mules, and we introduced Olney's kids as well. I know a lot of the Olney fans were appreciative of that. And, the only thing I don't like about it is now we got to go to Olney next year, which is fine, but we aren't going to be able to have anything like that here. I almost wish you could do two of them, do a home and away every year.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll get to that point. If we see that things are going really well, maybe we can get to that point. I mean, I thought I had such a positive experience with it this year that I almost think maybe it'd be beneficial to do two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was such a good thing that it would almost be beneficial to do two a year. Maybe we can get to that point, but. I just think, and we got our younger guys out of there. A lot of times, we had freshman footballers out there that Friday that was their first ever football game, and a game. And
yep.
I mean, it wasn't a game, but they were able to get some reps in front of people against another opponent without it being a game. But it was really, truly like a game type situation, and that's going to be extremely beneficial for them, prior to their game. Next week. So I thought that was just a win-win. And we've always done things with Olney in the summer, and we've always had a good relationship with them. We know that we're not going to see them in the playoffs, so we could really care less about what we show them or what they do. We're going to coach each other up, and we met with both teams, Coach Carmody and I before. We said that. We want Richland County to have a good year this year, and I hope you want Fairfield to have a good year. Let's play hard tonight, but let's stay healthy. But let's get after each other, and let's have a good night. And I think we both teams accomplished that.
Yeah, I think it was mutual respect on both sides, and I heard a lot of positive comments from the coaching staff of Olney and fans of Olney, how you guys did it the other night, how you handled it, how you introduced their team, and it was just positive all the way around. Well, your Mules the other night definitely showed the ability to score both on the ground and in the air. There were some big plays the other night against Olney. Yeah,
I thought really pleased with our offense. That we controlled the line of scrimmage. I thought we were physical. And I thought our play action passing game was excellent. I thought our backs carried out the fakes well. I think offensively, Olney's going to very solid. Offensively, they got a nice quarterback. They got some good weapons. Pretty big physically on the offensive line. We probably had some guys maybe playing out of position a little bit. We tried to kind of plan for them. We were a little unsure what they might do offensively. I think, and they probably say the same thing. They might have schemed a little bit differently if you were game planning. We would have did the same thing. Personnel-wise, but they had a few big plays against us, on our defense. But overall, I was pretty pleased. I mean, I thought our offense though did a great job controlling the line of scrimmage, and I thought we were able to do pretty well whatever we wanted from an offensive standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Hey, real quick before I let you go, let's talk about the Black Diamond Conference looking ahead. Obviously, you got to figure that Cesar-Valliere and Johnson City are going to be very good again. They've proved that over the last few years, and both of them went really deep in the playoffs last year. So as you look at the conference, are those the two teams you feel are the teams to beat, and what else do you think about the conference?
Well, just from the conference as a whole, I mean, we've been really strong the last few years. I mean, we've had good teams make long playoff runs, and I think we've definitely eliminated that weak conference rap that maybe we've gotten over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we're a strong conference, a strong small schools conference, and I think Johnson City, even though Cesar knocked them off, I mean, Cesar had literally a historic team last year.
Right.
I think anybody, Cesar I feel like Johnston City's maybe kind of taken that nod that maybe we had, 3 or 4 years ago where we had that nice run. I think Johnston City's kind of taken over that a little bit until somebody can consistently knock them off. I mean, maybe that's their spot. Now, that's not to say that, Besser can't do that again. Maybe we can do that. I feel like we got a pretty strong team this year. I think Carmine's going to be pretty good. They've returned a lot of nice pieces. So, I definitely think at the top there's some teams that can do some things. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think there's a middle of the pack that there's going to be some teams scrapping it out, trying to get those 5 wins. There always is. I think those teams are going to kind of beat up on each other like they always do. And can they kind of weather the storm? From the top part of this conference. I mean, that's kind of the big question. And it'll be interesting how things play out. I feel like we're in a good spot. We are front loaded. We open up with El Dorado, and I think El Dorado will be one of those teams that's in the middle of the pack, fighting for those playoff wins. So if they can knock one of those top teams off, and that's going to put them in a good spot. But we got to be ready to roll right off the jump.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, we appreciate your time this morning. I know you got to get back at it, but thank you so much, and we look forward to covering the Mules throughout the year and talking to you week after week. So appreciate your time, and good luck as you open the season in week 2 against El Dorado.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye.